Hi, Kimberly here from Make Me a PT. So I just thought we'd quickly run through some of our training techniques. It can get a little bit confusing because there's a lot of different training techniques. So here at Make Me a PT, we have broken it down, made it really easy, really simple to understand. And again, it's quite a visual things that we make, and we give these straight to our learners because we want to make sure that they have them to hand whenever they want them, not just when we're teaching them, but when they have a couple of minutes, they can grab them and have a look at them as well. Okay, so I'm going to run through a couple of different training ones with you. You will need to know these for your exams, and obviously for when you're doing your different teachings. So we have here, as you can see, a pyramid training. So hopefully you can kind of see straight away that a pyramid is working all the way up or working back down. Again, you can work up and back down. So what that means is you can use a lighter weight with higher reps to work all the way up and then do the opposite on the way down as well. So you're decreasing the weight and the intensity of the reps as well. But like I said, there are two different versions of doing that. So you can work your way up and you can work your way down. And what that means is you're getting lots and lots more overloading the muscles as well. So rather than just doing like your basic 3 sets of 10, 12 reps, this means you're getting a lot more into the muscle, you're overworking the muscles. So it's a really, really good one if someone needs to get a bit more kind of endurance kind of style of training in there as well, which is absolutely brilliant. And we'll go into a bit more detail into that as well. And we do with our learners as well, just to make sure exactly what sets are good for what types of training as well, because that's really important as well. You want to make sure that when you're doing a exercise program for someone, you want to make sure that exercise is primarily for that type. So it's all connects, it all makes sense. A superset, okay, so you've got your antagonistic and your agonistic. Can't say the word. Okay, so this is something that I see quite a lot that people get wrong. So a superset is basically an exercise that is performed back to back, so with no rest. If you are going to do a superset, I would make sure that you have both pieces of equipment or whatever you're going to use back to back. What you don't want to do is use one piece of equipment at one end of the gym and then at the other, because then you will be getting a rest. But with a superset, there are two types of supersets. Okay, so these are really, really important. These long words proper catch me off guard with being dyslexic, but we know what they are. Okay, so we have your two types. You either have to work the same muscle or the opposite. Okay, so for example, a superset, you would either do two biceps or you do biceps or triceps. Okay, so you work in the same muscle or the same muscle group. Okay, so a full superset, and I have seen this. I have seen someone leg pressing and then doing curls, and I'm like, oh my goodness! Like, and it's such a shame that people are getting taught like this. So what we need to do is make sure that you're working within the same group range. So here you will need to know this. So you've got your antagonistic and your agonistic. So you'll need to know the difference between the two, and you'll have to know exactly if it was to work the same muscle group and the opposite muscle group. Within our program, we do offer we've got like a massive list so our learners can have a look to make sure that it is the same muscle group or the opposite muscle group, because I can sit here and talk about it forever. But it's quite good for you to go and do a bit of research as well. I mean, I can give you all the answers easily, but I think you'd feel more better by going away, having a look, having a read up for it as well. Like again, you can do like chest and back, things like that as well. So it's sometimes you think, oh yeah, okay, I didn't really think of that. That's a really, really good one to really, really think about. And I do give quite a lot of examples to our learners, but it is good for you to go and have a little bit of a research yourself. So we have a preset and a post set and exhaust set. Okay, so preset I would always, always, always recommend when you have a client anyway, because what happens when you start to exercise, your muscle doesn't know that it's about to exercise. So making sure that you do a preset is really kind of going, right, we're activating that muscle now. I'm telling you this is what we're about to do before you lift what your weight is. Primarily, you would never go in lifting a really heavy weight at all, because you would then definitely cause injury. Absolutely. So what we want to do is prevent injury. So we're kind of warming up that muscle group. We're letting him know we're about to use you. Okay. And then obviously a post set is really, really good, is like a really lightweight, just to absolutely get you fatigued, finish it off. I quite like making sure that it's like, for example, if we were to do chest, I'd always do something not like a compound movement. So you wouldn't do something like a squat or something as a post set to kind of exhaust you finishing off. You would kind of do it like, for example, I do like a chest press or press, sorry, a press up again because it's body weight. So I'll do something that's not gonna cause any injury at all. And exhaust is where you absolutely fail, you push beyond the muscles and cannot force even one more rep out. So that's absolutely is just completely fatiguing yourself. I have done this before now, and I've literally gone to walk out of the gym to the point I couldn't actually push the door open. I literally had to lift my knee and step out. Luckily, I think no one saw. But again, it's really, I find once you start planning sessions and things like that for your PT clients, it's really great because there's loads of things that you can add on and change and adapt, and it's really, really interesting. But again, it's just making sure that we are doing it in a safe way. Like I say, you would never do anything like you could do preset obviously with a compound movement, but you wouldn't necessarily do it with a post or exhaustion because we need to make sure we are training safe. Another one is a tricep. This is another one like the superset that gets a little bit confusing. So with a tricep, it's 3 exercising, but it has to be the same muscle with no rest. So example, if you're going to do 3 exercises, make sure you have all the pieces of equipment together. So for example, here, so straight away you could do these. This is something that I would naturally do is bench press, flies, straight into push-ups. Then you have your rest. For example, if you exactly the same if you used to do legs, it would have to be working just your hamstrings or just your glutes. You couldn't kind of do your glutes, hamstrings, and calves. Then that would be a circuit. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be the same muscle. So making sure that you are on the same muscle. You couldn't do like a superset where you work one side and the other. It has to be the exact same muscle, not muscle group, or else then you were then kind of performing a bit of a circuit. Keep your eyes out on them ones. I like to keep it a little bit tricky. But what I would do is I would go away and I would come up with a list that you would use, an example of different trisets, different giant sets, because once you start to learn to understand them, you will then start to appreciate it a lot better. And you'll start to kind of add them into it rather than it just getting quite boring when it comes into your sessions. We'd also, as well as Make Me PT, we also have a few transformation studios, and we do strength conditioning, and I add lots of these in, and I make sure that all my members feel educated into why they're doing it as well. So remember, that's what you're there for. You're there to also educate your client as well. And the more that you speak to your client about exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, that you're overworking them muscles, it really does help you get a better understanding as well. So again, giant set, love a giant set. Again, so it's exactly the same as a tricep. So it has to be the same muscle group. It can't be, like I said before, like this really, really good one. It couldn't be like you can't do what were the examples I said before? You wouldn't do like a leg press, and then you wouldn't kind of go into like calf raises or like then into like an RDL, because then it's all too different. It has to be within the same muscle group because you're exhausting that muscle group, you're overloading that muscle. Okay, so remember, it can't be different bits because then it would just be a leg circuit, it would just be like a lower body day without rest. So a true giant set is back to back with no rest. And you do see it a lot where we see it when we're teaching in some of our sessions. You're like, no, quick, hurry up! Like they'll have a rest in between. You're like, no, no rest, no rest, no rest. So again, you will find that with clients, they might want to have a bit of a chat in between, but then they're not then performing. So it's do the 4 exercises back to back with no rest. Then they can have their allocated rest time, and then go back through it however many times you have set that out to be. Drop set, again, there's lots of different ways you can do a drop set. We do a lot of drop sets. We kind of do drop sets we make sure that they are spotted with a chest press, which is absolutely brilliant. I do a lot of spotting with my husband, and when he does it, we're like put it back on, taking him off, giving him back, and you've got to, when you're doing it with someone, they have to work quick as well, so it's really, really good. So yeah, a drop set is basically where you do your exercise. There's different ways you can do it. So for example, you can do within rep range. If you want to do 12, 10, 8, you can do that. Or you could just do it until you fail on them reps and you have to put it back, re-rack, take some weight off. Again, you can do it up to 3 times, 4 times. We've done it up to 10, so there's a lot that you can do with the drop set. It's basically making you get as much out of that one exercise until you are at maximum fatigue, which is great for growth, which is absolutely brilliant as well. So again, it's with a drop set, sometimes it's quite good to have a spotter. It's quite good to have someone there to help. That's why as a PT or a gym instructor, this is a really, really good one, because you're there checking, making sure their form's okay, making sure their training's safe, but then you're also there to get off the weight, hand it back to them nice and safe as well. So a drop set is a really, really good little cheeky burner in there till fatigue. Negative, I think I actually, like, it feels like a lifetime. It actually is a lifetime ago when I did mine, and I actually demonstrated a negative. So what a negative is, pushes you past your limit. So as you should know now, that, for example, I actually did it, I think I did it on a bicep curl, or I did it on a chest press, can't remember. But for example, we'll go with a bicep curl. I've recently done this with Adam. So for example, when you're lifting, the lifting phase is probably slightly easier because you can like pull it up, but the lowering phase is much more difficult because it has to be controlled. So what you would do on a negative is, for example, I would help. So Adam, obviously, I'll just use Adam as an excuse. Just as an example. So for again, we would lower it down. So I'd have my hands under, we'd go 1, 2, 3, and then I would help him then pass the way up to the top, and then we would then negative it down. I would obviously be underneath just in case he needed that little bit of support, like 1, 2, 3 down, and I'd lift the weight back up, because at that point he's at absolute fatigue. He cannot get that. He literally cannot lift that weight up to the top, and that he needs me to be able to lift it up to there, and then to perform in that exercise, it's heavier than what you can actually lift, but it's a lowering phase that is going to help build muscle. Remember that when we lift weights and get DOMs, it causes micro tears, but then micro tears are really fine. What happens is we then need to build them back up. That's what protein does. It builds them all back up. I wouldn't really start telling clients that's exactly what's happening, because they just get a little bit wary, like, oh, I'm ripping my muscles. But we obviously know that there is safe ways to do it as well. And these are really, really good. But again, you have to use a spotter on this as well. Forced reps, we've all been there. I would say my shoulders are probably my weakest. So sometimes a forced rep is when you're pushing up and you just like, when you just get here and you just can't go above there anymore. I would have someone then just to come under and just to help get that last little bit of a rep out, because getting that full range of rep is really, really going to help. But I really do personally struggle with shoulders, so I do this quite a lot. I'll be like pushing, and then them elbow and them hands will come over under, and then just help push up. Again, you could do it with a lat pull down, where you pull it down just to get them last little bits. You'll just get like, you pull up bar and pull it down. Sorry. That's it. Sorry, that's our little chihuahua. So a forced rep is really, really good. And it's really good when you see a client really struggling, but really want to get them reps out. So our daughter recently just asked to start coming to the gym. She's been absolutely nowhere ever wanting to come to the gym. And it was quite nice, actually. You could actually see her pushing so hard. She was like, Mum, I literally can't push anymore. And she was struggling that much that she'd never knew that she could get herself to that point. And I was like so proud, because at that point, it'd be so easy just to put the weight down. But I'd obviously gone over, made sure she was safe, and I'd elbows under, and I'd help her get them extra reps in. So again, it is needing that having someone there to spot as well. And then partial reps, it's literally to target through the part that when you've got like I can't say the word now, to help you build that little extra bit out. So what we would do on that is like a partial rep on like a lateral raise. So like a lateral raise is obviously when you get here, we obviously know is the hardest. And then a partial is where sometimes again will come under. I'll help lift just to get that extra bit of a partial in there as well, making sure that it's controlled. And it can either be at the strongest or the weakest part of the movement. So you can either be like half here or from here up as well. Just making sure, again, another really good example of doing that as well is a 21. So a 21 is where you've got a barbell and you do half one way, half the other way, and then 7 full ones equaling 21. So it's a really, really good way to get extra reps in as well for a partial. And I think that is it. I think I just need to show you now what was making all that all that noise. This is what you can hear making all that noise. Unfortunately, I haven't got my my mic on. We can't find them, but this little one likes to cause chaos as well. So sorry about that, Darcy. Say sorry, Darcy. Say sorry for causing chaos. She's really friendly. But yes, so that is everything that you need to know for your level 2 and possibly your level 3 as well. So there's lots to go through. Like I said, all our students get these as well. I think they're probably somewhere on one of our Instagram, Facebook, or something as well. Again, it's great to have that kind of visual, and it's great just to have something just to flip over, have a look at as well. But if there's anything at all that you want me to kind of explain, go through, send me a quick message, pop it below, and I'll make sure that I'll get as much information over to you because we always say to our members, our students, your success is our success. But I've had people reach out and say they've gone elsewhere but got more from these, which is a bit sad, really, because education should be fun and we want everyone to success. We don't want anyone to go into the industry not knowing what they're doing or they don't feel comfortable to do what they're doing. So if at all there's anything I've not gone through yet and you would like for me to go through, please give me a message. Please like and subscribe. I keep getting told off for not saying that. I'd feel a bit awkward saying it, but I have to say it. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please give me a like, some a thumbs up, or just ask me any question. Right. Bye.